The New England Patriots take on the LA Chargers, Divisional Round, 1:05 Eastern Time, Sunday. Melvin Gordon did not practice today, expected to play, but is banged up, has 2 braces on both his knees. Mike Pouncey did not practice also, but probably will also play. Hunter Henry is fully back at practice, so you can insert your Stephen A. Smith jokes now if you want. Tom Brady, 7-0 versus Phillip Rivers. I know a lot of people have been bringing that up. It's a new season, but they have played twice in the playoffs. That was back in 06 and 07. Feels like a lifetime ago. A different type of football, pretty much. 2006, 2007. The Patriots are 11-1 after a bye in the playoffs. The one loss came in 2010 against the Jets. And the weather is expected to be 26 degrees Fahrenheit. There is a chance of snow. All right, guys. Let's start off with AC. I want to, because he said this earlier. He said he's kind of a Pats fan now. What is this?
No, not a Pats fan, just not as aggro against them.
All right, let's hear why.
Okay, I do think they don't have as much talent defensively and even offensively as they had in the past. So I do give Tom credit that he still gets it done, and obviously the run game. I think Michelle has been good, but I don't think I think he could be better. Just looking at this game, basically, I think it breaks down to, I don't know if the Chargers offense didn't look that great. Obviously, it was against a very good defense. We'll find out if it was just because the Ravens defense is that good, or were they having an off day? Because they couldn't really run the ball. Gordon was a non-factor. Obviously, he's a bit injured. I would want to see some more passes to Eckler, who's finally somewhat healthy, who probably is a bit injured as well playing. But at the end of the day, it's the Pats at home, and it's tough to bet against them. And I think that the Pats defense is just going to make one more play like they normally do. Tom Brady is going to get enough, maybe time of possession. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I'm thinking like 17-14, maybe 20-14. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. The only thing, so I'm taking the Pats, the only thing the Patriots might have an issue with is the Phillip Rivers saying that this is a team of destiny. When you kind of get that, there's something going on in that locker room. And being an Eagles fan, I've seen that happen before. That's the only thing that could get in the way. Nothing to do with X's and O's. Just like this team's a team of destiny. But I'm still taking the Pats because Pats don't lose this week. And they could make they're probably going to host the AFC Championship game somehow, just no matter what. And the Eagles help them out, too, right?
Even if the Chiefs win, they'll somehow switch it to New England.
Oh, no. Oh, for sure, man.
Okay.
No, I just think the Colts have a good chance to beat the Chiefs, and all of a sudden, Colts get banged up.
Are you switching your pick right now?
No. Okay. I'm just saying it has that potential. It's going to be close, right? Yeah. It has that potential. But I'm going with the expertise of Tom Brady, Belichick. They're going to find a way to stop. I didn't really like what I saw out of the Chargers last week. They're rested, and it's going to be somewhat low scoring. I think both defenses are going to be good, and I don't think both offenses are going to really move the ball that much. I think it's going to be field goals, just a couple touchdowns. So that's why I'll go 17-14, 20-14, something like that.
All right. Let's go, Kevil. He looks like he's ready over there. So, Kevil, give me your Chargers prediction. We know it's coming. Let's go.
Well, it's all these stats come out at this time. Phillip Rivers has never beaten Tom Brady. The LA Chargers don't lose when they travel on a plane. The AFC record of the Patriots. We know what all of that is. So I'm not going to get into that. I think it's been an interesting year for the New England Patriots. They certainly have seemed, for most people, to have a step back. They haven't been as productive. They went back to the running game more this year, which has worked. James White was having some good points, but then James White wasn't used. Tom Brady doesn't seem as accurate. Rob Gronkowski doesn't seem there. Their receiving core is a little bit weak. Defensively, they actually are not terrible. They've allowed last 3 games under 20 points, even to the Steelers, which they lost to. So, maybe this to me is this to me has the makings from the New England side as a low scoring game. Yes, the LA Chargers did not look good last week. Excuse me. Offensively, they did not look good, but defensively, they did. But they were able to get the plays when they needed to. And it seems to me this year, Phillip Rivers, for the most part, has found a way to get the job done somehow. Is it MVP talk? Not necessarily. Is it the Phillip Rivers-esque that we've all known and love? Yeah, which is a good thing and a bad thing. There are times he forces that ball. My concerns for the Chargers is Gordon with the injuries. I think that that's going to be a bit of a problem. So I do think that they need to use Austin Eckler and Justin Jackson a lot more. I'm also concerned a little bit for that offensive line. I feel like Russell Okung specifically, because I remember him specifically taking way too many penalties. They need to limit the penalties. But I am interested in what they're going to do defensively, because Gus Bradley went to Anthony Lynn and said, okay, we're going to play 7 DBs in this game against the Ravens. And Anthony Lynn says, are you freaking crazy? Anyway, and it worked. For the most part, it worked. So I'm interested in seeing what Gus Bradley does here. Their linebacking crew isn't the strength, but their defensive backs are pretty strong and pretty physical. And it's been my observation, for the most part, that when the Patriots struggle, Earl Thomas versus Rob Gronkowski, that the physical defensive secondaries seem to give the Patriots receivers a bit more of a problem. This is going to be a close game, but I look at the Chargers defense, who came to ball last week for the most part until the game was over. Chargers defense here, I think, is the edge. And Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, I think, are going to have a good game. The Patriots have to protect them. They got to find a way to get another receiver involved. They got to find a way to get James White involved to win. But yes, I'm doing it. And it's because I stuck with it, because it's on video. I picked the Chargers from the beginning of the year. I picked the Chargers in the video just before. I have to stick with it. I'm staying.
That's not the only reason. Come on, Kev.
I think the Chargers are a bit better of a team right now than the Patriots.
Thank you for saying that. Perfect. I just didn't want him to say that because I picked it earlier, I'm picking it now. I don't want any of that.
No, but I'm adding that that's factor, right?
Yeah, it's a factor. Dylan, go ahead.
I'm interested in this matchup. I think this is going to be a very fun kind of matchup that Brady, Rivers. This is going to have all the storylines put in place, and I'm really looking forward to that kind of matchup that we have here. For the Chargers, what I was talking about in that Ravens preview, which, again, a lot of people picked the Ravens. A lot of people were thinking, Ravens, this is the team. They're going to go out there. They're going to make this run. They got this great defense. They got this stunning quarterback. And I said, hey, let's look at the Chargers defense. You don't think that Week 16 matchup kind of messed with them? They're like, hey, we got beat in a pretty bad situation. It wasn't as what we were expecting, and they ran the ball like a lot to win that game. They were going to focus on the biggest part of that Ravens offense. And what do? They forced Lamar Jackson into that situation. For 50 minutes, it was stopping the run, and they completely decimated the Baltimore offense that they had. The last 10 minutes, Lamar Jackson had to throw, and it worked to success, but they were focused on stopping the run, and that's what got them the game winner with their defense. Their offense had some good drives, but they also did really struggle, especially in the first half. They were able to get a couple of touchdowns. They got what they got, and they made some really good plays. Melvin Ingram was tremendous on defense. It was great to see that. Desmond King is looking like, this guy has been playing tremendous as of late, and you got to look for him in that defensive side. So I saw a lot of good things from the Chargers, even though they only put up 23 points on the board. Not a whole lot of offense, but their defense was what set them apart. Patriots, it's been a very weird road of 2018 that I've seen the Patriots go on. Brady has been the kind of guy that the way that I look at it has not been abnormal. There's been some really great plays, some really great throws. Of course, Brady's going to be that leader. Other times I see it as, he just didn't make the play like I expect him to. The run game has been there. That's being consistent. I like what they do with the run game. But, again, I agree with what Kev has said. Bring in James White. You need to bring in James White. He's been a key role. The first half of the year, he needs to be used at this point in the game. And then the receiver core has been a mixed bag. Julian Edelman's had a really good year. But overall, I've been questioning, is there going to be a Gronk game? Is there going to be a big Gronk game? I don't know. I haven't really seen much of that this year. So they can open that up and have him be what it is. That would be awesome. But I can't like put my money on it. It's a difference. And the Patriots defense, their secondary is what I'm looking forward to. That's been great. Stephon Gilmore, one of the best corners in the game right now. He's been playing great. And I'm looking to see if they can put the pressure, because a lot of times we're seeing if they can put that pressure on the offenses that they're playing, and I don't know if they're going to do that. I'm going with the Chargers. Again, I made this pick a while back, and I'm going to continue with that because I like what the Chargers are bringing just a little bit more than what the Patriots are bringing. I think it's going to come down to, is Brady going to lead that charge against the Chargers and the defense? I know he's done it a lot of times before, but I think in this game, with what the defense has brought for the Chargers, Bosa, Ingram, King, all those guys that they got there are just going to make one more play. I feel like it could be a great interception to get this game off, and I'm going to go 27-24. It's going to be as close as they come in this game. But I think the defense is what's going to set them apart. They game planned against the Ravens. You betcha they've been betting against or game planning against the Patriots because they know this matchup was coming, and I think they're going to get the win.
All right, so 2 for the Chargers. You guys know I'm going with the Patriots. Are you kidding?
Oh,
come on, man. All right, but seriously, though, let's get into this matchup and why I'm picking the Patriots. Because I didn't pick the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl this year in the playoff predictions. So let's get into this one. And I did predict this game. So let's get into it. All right, Patriots offense, Chargers defense. I think where the game will be won, you guys have all brought it up. Are the Chargers going to get a pass rush on Tom Brady? When you're looking at it, Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, they actually played last year, and a lot of the Chargers players played in that game. Bosa, Ingram played. Their whole offense played, like every single player. So I went back, I watched that game. They did get some pressure on Tom Brady. Was it consistent? Not really. They did have some big moments, but the Patriots were able to get the ball out quickly. Now, the Patriots offense isn't the same as it was last year. I think it's going to be a different Patriots offense this time around. But I will say this, the Patriots offensive line this year has been really good, and they're ranked first in pass blocking efficiency this season. So if anyone's going to stop this pass rush, it's probably going to be the Patriots in New England. I do expect the Chargers, again, to play a lot of defensive backs not because that was their game plan against the Ravens. I think it was, but it's also just because that's the best players they have. If you look at their linebacker depth chart, they don't have anybody left. I mean, Jatavius Brown is out. They have a number of guys, like their top 3 guys that were all starters on their team. They're all hurt. I think their top linebacker is Pullard and Emmanuel, and they never play. I think they're like mostly special teams guys. The reason why I say that is they were effective last week, and I think they would rather, play that way this week, knowing that the Patriots are effective in the middle of the field and getting the ball to their running backs. I think they're going to play that style of defense once again, mostly. Now, not completely, like they played 58 out of 59 snaps with 4 safeties on the field and 7 defensive backs. I don't see it being that much, but I see it being a lot. Now, to me, it comes down to, can the Patriots run the ball? And I brought up the Patriots offensive line. They've been dominant at times, but I think if they can get to the second level with their running backs and get on those safeties, then they have a great chance of just having a huge rushing game with Sony Michel and these running backs. And I think that's the way the Patriots will do it. I think AC is very right when he says that this is going to be a low-scoring game, because I think the Patriots are going to try and grind away. They're going to run the ball, and if it's successful, it's successful. But even if you're successful running the ball, you're not going to score a ton of points. And if they're successful running the ball at first, that will open up the play action, which they love to do, and that will open up the passing game. Because I don't think the Patriots against the Chargers, this is not how you beat the Chargers. You don't just come out and you go 5 wide and you go, okay, we're going to just beat your corners. That's not going to happen. They're going to have to open it up through their running game, which I think is a possibility because of how small the Chargers are. And I think that could happen. Now, one thing that I think was huge in last year's game that I think will be big again is the Patriots running backs. Last year, White and Burkhead both had huge games, and the Chargers gave up the most yards to running backs this season in the passing game and 107 catches. So I expect both of those players to have pretty good games again. Now, we've talked about it. The Patriots at home have been just a completely different team. They've scored 32.9 points at home, which is second in the league behind the Rams. And the Chargers have allowed 19.8 on the road, which is 6th in the NFL. The Chargers are good against the pass. They're 9th in passer rating against on the road. So that's very good. So like I said, the Patriots are going to have to run the ball. And the key matchups, Edelman versus King or Hayward or whoever they put on him. Edelman is their go-to guy, and he is. And Gronk, if he's healthier, that's going to help. But I don't expect much playing against Derwin James. I think someone needs to step up. Whether it's Hogan, Dorsett, Patterson, they need to make 1 or 2 decent plays. Like 1 third down conversion, 1 big reverse by Patterson. Something needs to happen. Looking at the defense against the Chargers, the Patriots defense, again, has been way better at home. They allow 16 points at home, which is 2nd in the NFL. The Chargers scored 26.9 on the road, which is 6 points less than the Patriots at home. And it's actually higher than what they score at home, which, again, Chargers play better on the road for some reason. Patriots D is 7th in passer rating. And I think that this side of the ball basically comes down to the receivers versus the corners, because I think if the Chargers receivers can make plays against the corners, that's the best part of the Patriots defense. If they can cover well, if Gilmore's shutting down Keenan Allen, if J.C. Jackson's playing with confidence against Mike Williams, if these guys are playing well, then that completely takes away the big plays from Phillip Rivers, and you're worrying about a hurt Melvin Gordon making plays on you. Last year, Keenan Allen did not much, and Gilmore didn't even play. Malcolm Butler was there, and the best receiver that the Chargers had was Travis Benjamin, basically over he had the best game is what I'm saying. Mike Williams played, all these guys played. But I think what Dylan brought up, the pass rush of the Patriots, it needs to come through on a few plays. I think they will blitz on third down more like they have in the second half of this season, and they've been effective doing that. The reason why I think they can be effective is because the Chargers offensive line is 30th in pass blocking efficiency. We saw against the Ravens, they were not very good at covering blitzes and handling blitzes, and their running back specifically missed blocks, like wide open blocks. But I think if they can get a couple blitzes here and there, they can make some plays. Also, a key kind of underrated part of the game is the special teams. Desmond King's a really good returner. Cordell Patterson's a really good returner. And the Chargers had a punt blocked last game, which the Patriots had like 4 in the last like 5 or 6 games. So if they can get one of those, they're for sure going to win. But overall, I think it's going to be a close game. I agree with AC's take. It's going to be low scoring. I have the Patriots winning 24-17 over the LA Chargers, and I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I think the Patriots will be mostly in control, but they'll just be a little bit better in a few crucial drives, like at halftime, at the end of the game to win.
They also had a field goal and a punt block last week. The Chargers did. So
yeah. So I think that's an interesting aspect of the game that not many people are looking at. And if any side of the ball ever screws the Chargers, it's their special teams. That is a fact. But we'll see what happens.